Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez. Welcome to another episode of Truth Serum, where we give it to you straight with no chaser. Today is Friday, February 19th. And first and foremost, I want to just say a quick shout out to those of you who have showed up before anybody else. So Elisa Oliveira, Anna Hart, and Lamont the Capricorn. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for shouting me out. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. My Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube family. You've been showing up, and I really just want to say thank you. I think we need to be more grateful, and we need to be more in the moment is what I'm learning. How to be in the moment. I don't know how that works out for you, but if you have any suggestions, anything to contribute, any stories, as we wait for Estelle to show up, I wanted to quickly send a shout out. I don't even know if shout out is the appropriate word, but I'd love to extend thoughts, good vibes of healing and progress, prosperity to the people in Texas. We tend to condemn the entire state because of some of the presence that is there, and that's not fair. There are a lot of good people in Texas who are seeking the progress of all people. There are good people in Texas who think differently than we do. Hey, Boricua, Sarine. So I just wanted to just make sure that we show up for the people in Texas. There are quite a few resources that we can extend to help people. Some people need water, they need generators, they need a lot of things. Thank you, Derek. So if you have an opportunity to extend some resources to the people in Texas, people that you know, people that you don't know, homeless people, show up, because it's you know, it always ends up being our turn, no matter where we are in this country, where we are in the world, because Saladin Amar Muhammad. I don't know why I try to pronounce the name like that. It's because I'm Puerto Rican. Salam or assalamu alaikum. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So anyway, I wanted to just make sure that we show up for the people of Texas. We have fires in California. Someone asked me, I made a comment on the Young Turks the other day, because I said eventually the poor are going to eat the rich. People can only get pushed around so much. Brandon said he's in Texas, so I wanted to stop quickly to acknowledge Brandon McLean. What's up, sister? Thank you for the Texas shout out. It's rough here. Please let us know, Brandon, what are the best ways we can help the people who are in Texas? Because a lot of times we get involved with these organizations, and these organizations are just a hustle. So whatever way you can suggest, and anyone there who's in Texas, how we can show up for the people of Texas, please let us know, and we'll share the links of you know, how to get water, generators, food, canned goods, towels to help with the, you know, the flooding, whatever it is. Let's show up for the people of Texas. There are quite a few things that have been happening in the news. You know, we know Ted Cruz went to Mexico. It went terribly awry for him. Then he turned around and came back. He used his daughter as an excuse to why he went to Texas. Listen, what I want to say here today is what I've been saying for a long time, and I'm going to continue to say it. Human beings on this planet, the American people all over the world, at some point, we're going to have to find some solidarity, even though we have a lot of differences and issues within our groups. But the powers that be, that top 1%, they continuously benefit from all of the horrible things that happen to us, because we are like rats on a wheel to them. Just wanted to update you. I just received a message that Estelle is running a bit behind, but we'll be on shortly. So I just wanted to just remind you, after watching Judas and the Black Messiah, and how the chairman sought solidarity, went and talked to poor white people, went and talked to the young lords, was creating a coalition of people who had differences, different needs within their communities, but found some solidarity and trying to seek equity and justice for all people in this country. And I think that, as painful as that may sound, because we have so many differences and so much infighting, I believe at the end of the day that it's going to take it's going to take something like that for us to actually have progress in this country. I seem a little distracted because I am reading some of the comments, and I'm seeing someone saying that people are freezing to death in Texas. So reach out to your people in Texas. It says feed the people in Dallas. They need food. They need all kinds of help. And so maybe what I'll do is set up some sort of link so that we can try to show up for the people in Texas. And just remember that wherever there is struggle and strife, that the people who are suffering the most are the marginalized. So when we show up for Texas, just know that those grids and the way the electricity is working in Texas, the people who are suffering the most are the ones that are in the urban areas, that are in the marginalized areas. And I'm not just making this up. This is actually coming from one of my best friends who's in Houston right now. And she said there are certain places where they did not go without electricity. She said it's predominantly in the areas where Black and brown people are there. All problems in this country are rooted in economics. Racism is a tool of the rich. Absolutely, Frederick. I totally agree with you. And I think that it's very hard for people to understand that because they are in pain. Yeah, they keep us so busy in chaos and we don't have the time to really see what they're doing. Completely agree. They keep us fighting, and we are having arguments about terminology and semantics on social media. In the meantime, we are suffering and struggling. But I just wanted to just quickly give a shout out to the people in Texas and see how we can show up. And I think it is important to do that. That being said, today, I wanted to have a show where we have a conversation surrounding the conversation of Judas and the Black Messiah. We've been having these conversations about Blackness throughout the diaspora and what that means. And for me, I preach and I believe in solidarity of all Black people all over the world, because I think we are one. And even if we've been colonized differently and our differences are what they are, we still are melanated people that belong to the sun. And for me, it is important that we show up for each other. That being said, I wanted to have fun today and bring on an artist that I love and have a lot of respect for. I had the opportunity and the honor of meeting. And it's so awesome when when someone that you think is great confirms it with their actual greatness. So I want to welcome Estelle to the show. Who just had a birthday, and I got a chance to be there. Hey, Queen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in my Apple Music studio. I should probably get rid of this. Okay. I'm wonderful. How are you?
You working though? You working through the pandemic?
Baby, they told me get your job done, and I said, all right. I said, I will.
You've been doing it. You've been doing it.
Sure.
So I was just reading, because I just know recently you were on the Country Music Network, right? And you were a part of, you sang with Gladys Knight.
Martina McBride. I don't know. God said, here you go. It's a blessing. And I said, for sure. Appreciate it. We did that like in 2016, and they just aired it again. Man, it feels like I did it yesterday, because I remember the call that came through, and it was like, well, there's this thing in Nashville. Do you want to go do it? And I was like, Nashville, it's going to be good, right? Yeah, sure. And then they're like, well, also there's Gladys Knight. I said, absolutely. When do I have to be there? How does, yes. And then they were like, hey, Martina. And I was just like, first of all, I'm a fan of both these ladies. And then also, it's Gladys Knight, the God. What do you mean? Like, like I was there filming when I wasn't singing. I was there with my phone, like streaming it live for my parents to watch. While she was doing it, I'd be like, all right, I gotta go sing now. And then put the phone down. And my dad was like, she sounds just like the record. She sounds just like the record. I was like, no.
You sound
No,
like the record too, though.
thank you, thank you. But like, it was a very surreal day, and for me, like, you know, an honor to do it. A super honor to sing with that.
Oh, that's dope. I mean, I think that it is important for us to talk about our journeys, right? Because
Yes.
we are blessed to do the things that we're able to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, people don't realize the journey. And I would love for you to share some of the highlights and parts of your journey, because you're a success story, and you've done some great things. You have one of the most, I gotta tell you, I hated that American Boy song. Let me tell you why. I heard that song every 30 seconds. I was like, messed up, right? I was in Korea on tour for 3 weeks, and I heard that song every single day. And I was like, that is success. Having a successful song is when you get tired of that song. You're like, I have heard this song. And so congratulations on that.
Look, let me tell you, for real, like the first 2 years into it, I was like, oh my God. Take me on a trip. Oh my God. And then I said to myself, no, because you prayed for a record like this. You said, God, give me a record that is a lifestyle record. Let all of my songs that people hear in the wide scheme of the world be records that are lifestyle, that they grow with, that their kids grow with. I wanted that record, you know, that type of record. And so like American Boy is one of them, Conqueror is another one, Thank You's another one, like, and that, you know, One Love, Freak, and these records, when I perform them, I see people's energy shift. And like I can't be an asshole about that. I can't be an asshole to myself.
No.
To the moment. You know, like, am I allowed to curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. I can't be, you know, I'm grateful. I've had to remix it 11 times to like make sure I don't get bored of it. But like I'm so OD grateful, man. Like what is it? Kathy Sledge said it's a forever song, you know? And I said you would know. So yes.
I love it now though. I love it again. Like we had a fallout for a minute because I was like, God damn, this song is everywhere. And it was we were in Korea for 3 weeks, and everywhere we went, we heard that song. And I remember it just hit me, and I was like, yo, this Black woman's song is being played in every city in South Korea, right? Because I went on a 10-city tour, and I was like, what a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like, bless God.
Man, I'm telling you, I pray for records. You pray, was it Meat Mill? I used to pray for times like this. That was the life, because I went to Korea too, and there was another record I wrote called I sang called Fall in Love, and that's the only place in the middle of wherever that I heard that song played back to back to back on radio, and I was just like, well, this is fun. You know, like that record couldn't get off the ground in the US. That's one of my favorite performance records. But in Korea, in different areas of the world, I have certain records that just people love. And so I'm forever grateful to my entire international family, like just everyone who plays any of my records. And I'm happy you love it again.
Yeah, dude. No. And it wasn't the song. It was like Outkast, hey ya. I was like, Lord have mercy. They are trying to brainwash.
They trying to make us love this one.
No, but
love it.
Yeah. That's a great record. So I want you to share your journey, because we have ideas about stardom, and we don't realize the grind.
It's the 10 years to be an international overnight sensation, right? Like people don't understand. There's a lot. I started when I was 17. I come from a huge family. There's been times of pure homeless. There's been times of pure brokenness. I lived in several different places, and then I was always like, no, I'm gonna get my own place, and then I couldn't quite afford my own place, and I went and lived back at my mom's, and then like got kicked out. Well, I had to leave because there were too many of us in the house. It was just so much unpredictable living scenarios for a while. And then I got my deal I started off as a rapper, so I got my first deal. It was a production deal with my company and another company, because I knew enough to go and make sure that I had proper representation and I could find a way to like free trademark a company name, and until I could get it properly trademarked, and then own my own stuff. So I did deals with companies and ended up with my first album coming out. I worked in a record shop, so the hip hop side of me was forever true. I just discovered a video of me performing on a festival with like Slum Village and like Mr. Complex and Talib. This is how long I've known Talib, since I was like 19.
Nice.
His first trip to London, we met with him and Mos. And so like like all of those, I have the legacy of doing music for real, where people think, oh, American Boy. And I'm just like, yeah, it was so much more before that, Yeah. And so like that was the short version. Is after I did my first album, before I did my first album, I met Kanye and John. I'd already put on so much effort to like, build myself up in the UK. People were very, very supportive and were like, when they did their research on who's this little black girl coming out here talking about, can she do a record with John Legend? They were like, no, she's for real. Like, she really does this. And whether you're there or not, she's going to do it,
Nice.
And that was kind of the premise of John signing me. He was like, you're going to blow regardless. So I just want to be along for the ride.
Oh, nice.
I was just like, hey, what? Come on. Add your weight to the ride. Let's go, And he did. He really stood up and really represented for me. So that was lovely. We did my album Shine. It took 3 years for the whole process of being signed. It took another year to finish recording it and do all the bits. It took another year for Kanye to get on American Boy, and then it came out. That version of events was, I'm gonna write a book one day. Because everyone always asks me like, what's Kanye on? I'm like, I knew 2002, 3 Kanye. My opinion hasn't changed, and we've not been any different around each other since then. I'm very, what you see is what you get with me, But over the past 5 years of like, I've made 3 or 4 other albums. I could say 3 or 4 other albums since, oh my God, this is my 6th album. It's wild, just wild in the streets. Coming up. And like, I made all my albums in between it. And it was just like, it took a lot of personal fortitude and like persistence and grace and niceness to myself, I want to say, to do, to be the person I am today. So it's been a lot of like no's. It's been a shit ton of no's. It's been a shit ton of yeses too, in the middle of it being super high profile, like being overseas, and my manager had quit in the middle of me flying back from London through Paris to the US. And I was like, well, I'm in the middle of a flight between LA and my manager just told me before I got on this flight that she's quitting right now, effective right now. Wow. Like I'm a land and have no management, like, wow, type things like that. And then I had to land and figure out what the hell was going to, in the middle of touring. So it was a lot of things, and it wasn't me, it was her personal stuff she was dealing with. So it was a lot of things to handle, a lot of big weight to handle at like 27 in a whole new country with none of my friends and none of my people, around me at all. My parents were not my parents were at home cheering me on, like, you got this, you could do it. And I was just like, I don't, I'm tired, I'm so exhausted, can you come take care of me? So it was a lot going on all at once, and everyone was just like, American Boy girl. And I was like, yeah.
I definitely feel that.
And I'm sure you've done comedy, and like, I'm sure you understand. I saw your special. So like, I saw your special on Tiffany Haddish, They Ready. And I'm just like, I loved it. When you talk about your experiences with the family and your journey, that to me was just like, oh, there was a reason. There's a reason why I was like, I feel her. Yes.
What's funny is that we both work in fields that are dominated by white men, right? And that's just reality. That's not, that's just the truth, right? And so for I think when you said to me, I see you, it meant something completely different to me than when other people say they see me, because you know what the journey is when you are doing this. Like, I'm great because I have talent. It has nothing to do with anything else, nothing to do with me being a woman, or it's this in here. And so, yeah, it's such a, you know, you, me, ye, like we're all in these spaces that is testosterone constantly, and they set the standard constantly, you know?
They say a lot of wild shit too, like, and they mean it, and it's like just off the cuff, and you'll hear like,
yes.
I want to respond. I want to respond with a slap. I want to respond with going to get one of my cousins, but also,
you
know.
You know, I love when you say that, because it's those of us that grew up here in the States, we have roots elsewhere, right? And get your cousins is such a thing. Like
around the world,
such a family thing. Like, don't make me go get my cousins. Like,
look. This is how real it get. I have one cousin who, and it's nuts. I say this story because it's out there now. It's in the press. It was what it was. But one of my cousins is like my favorite cousin too. Like, I love him, bless his heart. But like, he wasn't like the world's most successful crook. Okay. And he got like locked up. He got like arrested because they had did this robbery. Well, not a robbery. They had kidnapped a dude and tried to like take his Range Rover, and then they stopped at a cash point and the guy ran away. Anyhow,
I love you even more now.
And I was like, I'm reading this thing in the press, and all I can see is the first line is like Estelle's cousin, and I'm like, I don't even live there. It's been 7 years. How? Oh my goodness. Anyway, he calls me from Joe. He's like, I'm so proud of you, cousin. And me and him, and I was like, how did you get my number? What's going on? Like, I love him, but like also he just it's amazing. But like, he's definitely a cousin you're gonna call, because he's not the world's most successful crook, but he's gonna hold you down. You know what I mean? Like, it's still gonna be
that life.
Some things, right? And he knows a few. And then like, again, the community, the family where I grew up, we're definitely very. There's a dude in a white. There's a dude, I can't remember his name, in a white car that used to just be in the neighborhood, be in the area. And he was fine too. He had his little Fiat, and all the girls used to love him, but he was definitely older than us. So like, nah, but he was cute. But he was like one of the ones where I was just like, yeah, like if you're going through something and he pulls past it, everyone calms down.
Oh, that's
Everybody
great.
Everybody just calms down. He's like, oh yeah, like stop it, because it's not. So like, again, it's like, oh no, let me go get my cousins, because the man them know like we're good, you know. So
and you still show up though. You still show up, even though. Because we love what we do, we show up and unapologetically. And you know, I was like, you brought up Kanye. I wasn't gonna, because I know it has to get old, right? Where people are like, because I think you are enough and more than enough, and so just interesting all by yourself. And you know what I was gonna say about Kanye, because of what you said, it is I still love Kanye.
You know, I love him with the love of God, because because that's how I have to place it. Like, we all go through our bits. There's been There's been periods with people who know me in a different way that don't like me now, and I'm just like, that's fine. You know, you shouldn't like me now because we're not on the same wavelength. That's I can't call what he's going through, and I never want to be like, hey yo, like that man, da. I absolutely disagree with some of his choices, and I absolutely disagree with some. But those are his choices. Yes. As a human, as a solid standing in front of me human, I can't persecute you. You might disagree with my choices of dreads today, and now like hate me, like wish I was dead, like you know. I can't go. I can never go that far. Now, if he pulls up and he says something personally disrespectful, whole other moment, you know. But like, when I look at all of the things, I had to place it in the same way. Like I said, I love you with the love of God. That's been my quote, because anything else is too stressful. You said what?
I'm gonna have to borrow that.
It's a good version. It works.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about social media? How do you deal with social media? For me, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Yeah. You know, I struggle with it. So how do you deal with it?
Struggle's the word. Like, I have to put it in compartments. I have to be like, boom, this is this part, boom, that's that. And now leave me alone. Go away. Oh my goodness, I'm getting off the gram. Leave me alone. Everyone, no, I don't. I have people that do Facebook and I have people that sometimes do Twitter. I kind of just stay off of it because it's a lot. And someone came at me yesterday. I did a live. I do these vibe checks, right? Whenever I feel it, I get on and I talk to the young fans, like the Steven Universe fans and some of the darlings, right, as we call them. And I'm like, someone will get on there and be like, you disrespect me because you never answered me directly. It's a chat with 70 or 80 people, close to 200 people in it. And you keep banging on about this one thing that I have already shouted out. And then the person I don't know if it's a he or she. Well, I support you from Birmingham and did it. And I'm just like, bruh, everyone give Birmingham the love that they deserve because I'm not saying it one more time. We good? I'm right. I get sarcastic real quick and folks are like, oh, and I'm just like, yeah. Hi. With love, with the love of God. Hi.
The love of God is
with the love of God. Yeah, like because I have boundaries. I have personal boundaries where it's like you don't get to disrespect me or talk crazy to me or come at your faces. Wow, because you think I've given you this boundary, respect it, please. Don't feel like you can hop over the fence. It's never gonna go down. And also, like, there's the block button. Like there's that.
Yes.
And I love it. It's such a good tool.
I've been using it. I just blocked somebody. It's funny. Somebody told me, someone that's dear to me said to me, you'll be in a different place when you realize that you don't have to respond, like you don't have to give somebody an explanation. And that was for me. That was this last week. I had this one woman who kept coming at me on social media, and then I never respond, but people having these long, and I was like, delete, block. And it was such a freeing experience. I was like, oh, I don't have to respond to her. I don't owe her an explanation
at all. I've learned this. I refuse to carry anything that's not mine. So like when we were out, we were partying for my birthday. Like I said, I'm going to have a time. It was a very small group of us. Yep. I refuse to be cool. I refuse to I haven't seen people and these people. And there's some wonderful new people. I'm going to be nice and I'm going to have a time, and I haven't seen my people in like, in like a year, a whole year. And I'm just grateful to be here right now. And also, I made 41. What in this year of our Lord, the pandemics? Yes. I'm so grateful. So when I live in that space where I'm just like, okay, that's too much. That's really heavy. And you're going to stand there and be in your moment about it. Or you're going to be on the internet banging on about something that ultimately no one cares about. In 2 minutes time, no one will care. In 5 minutes, no one will. In a year, you won't even remember it. I refuse to do that. That's a lot to carry. Physically, emotionally, all the stuff. It's a lot. And I'm not doing it. So
that's actually a really healthy philosophy to have.
Yeah.
So now that you're 41 and you are now creating music at 41 and you spoke about 27, you talked about your journey, and now that what do you think is different for you now in terms of the artist that you give to us, the art that you're giving to us?
Well, I just went in and recorded a whole album pretty much on my own with one producer. And this is the most confident, happiest I've been since I started. Beautiful. I was very clear. I learned all the things to be learned to the point I was telling him, make it go like, no, do it now. Don't now. And he wasn't offended. I feel like I've hit my infinity stone, powers with being in the studio and recording now, because the records are coming out with making whole records in 4 hours. Like where normally it takes people like a day, a week, a month to cut the vocal right and do the things and come back with a beat and we're hitting it in 4 hours. So I feel like God is like, you're ready.
Nice.
So I've learned to just be completely, sure of myself. I've learned that I know exactly what it is, and there's no questioning anymore. There's no, well, do I need the cosign? You know, and that came by like I left working with John in 2012, and that's taken some time to completely overhaul who I was to become who I am. And the thought process in the back of my head has always been like, you're grown.
Yep.
It's been over 20 years doing this. You don't know how to make an album? Go and make your album, you know. And I literally did it, and I'm just so grateful and happy and like, ooh, let's go. You know? As soon as it's finished, we're like mixing it and doing all the bits and the stuff. So like, you know, timing, and then I'll just be like, boom, here you go.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
And
is it all you? The entire album is all you? Well,
I wrote the entire album. One producer produced the entire album. We have a few features on it. I don't want to say it till it's up, but very legendary, very great people. I went for the right sound on every record. Like I didn't want it to be like, oh, Kanye, so come do this record again. And John, come, you know, I was like, who do I love? Who sounds good on this? Right. Who am I going to chase down for the 6 months to make sure they can do this record because they're all in the panorama? You know, like who's going to make this great? You know, and that's what I went for on every record. So we're nearly there. I'm waiting for like 2 more features, and I've got one person to chase down because they're like the patron saint of all of us. And if he can do it, Jesus loves me. If he doesn't, God still loves me. We'll be all right. But like I have one that I really want him on, and it's just like I just want him to just do it. So like as soon as that's up, mix this, let's go.
Let's go. I'm excited for that. So, I wanted to ask you, I have been feeling like I've had these moments of grief because I can't perform. And I actually got to perform when I met you, and I treasured those minutes because I had not been on stage for a very long time. And so as a performer, like a part of me feels grief because it's important to express myself artistically. Sure, I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm an actress. Yeah. Stand-up is essential to my soul. And so I wanted to ask you as a performer, because I see you posting videos, singing and old performances.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing I had to sit down and come to Jesus with, come to myself, come to my spirit, come to my universe with, right? Mm-hmm. This is the period where I'm supposed to just upgrade everything internally, externally, all the things. So I use it as like, I've done this before. Before we got Shine, I had 3 years and a whole 3 months sitting on my balcony because I had no money and nothing to do. And I never had a show or nothing. I had 3 whole months in the middle of blazing hot summer to sit with myself, right? We just had a year of that, you know? And I used it to like intention what I wanted. I used it to plan what my shows would be like. I studied the greats. Like, and I'll tell you, I went back down my Diana Ross playbook, my Motown playbook, my Mary Wells playbook. And so when I was able to come up with Shine, when Shine was the right time and the album and everything came up, there wasn't a misstep. There wasn't oh, what's my hair gonna look like? What's my nails gonna look like? What's my things gonna look like? Oh, what's the sound of this? Oh, how are we walking out with this? Oh, how elegant will I be? And how, because you have to consider all of that with performing, right? It's not just sometimes getting up on stage and I'm just gonna, sometimes, but you have to be pretty far in your process. So I had all of my groundwork laid. So I've been using this time to resurface myself, essentially, just like clear the skin up, get my hair right, do the planning personally and on the inside too, and for music. So it's been good. I've needed the time. I have been like looking back over videos and posting them like,
I know.
I need the mic. Oh my God. But
you posted one the other day and I watched that bitch like 12 times. I was like this. I was like, I know what that feels. I can feel it. I know what it feels like. I was like,
but like, so you have to pull it back and be like, it's okay. It's just the upgrades happening right now. Once the upgrades are done, it'll be fine. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Yeah, no, look, a microphone right here. Like, I'm just like, it's not.
Do you use your time though to like go over like like your jokes, your stories, like you use it to go over your segues and how can I say this better. It's annoying because I would do that with my songs too, like, oh, maybe I could use this segue, and then be like, forget it, be standing in the kitchen, cooking or something, like be like, oh wait, hold up, maybe when I do the, when am I gonna do the show, and then be like, but that was still genius, I should have, oh damn it, where's my phone, like, and then forget it. But I just have to trust that it will come back when it's ready to come back, like when I need to use it, stuff like that.
I do go over stuff, and I do watch. I've been watching the greats. For comedy, a lot of times we don't watch other comedians because when we're working or on something, we don't want to be influenced by other comedians, because stream of thoughts is something that's real. And people will be like, "You a hater? You don't want to watch other." I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to.
I don't want to absorb. I don't want
to be on stage talking about something I heard because that Dave Chappelle said when I was, you know what I mean? Like it does when I'm in the writing process. But then at times when I watch, I feel very I'm actually gonna perform tonight, so I feel like I want to cry every time I go on stage now.
You should let it go, because I guarantee you so many people are feeling the exact same way you feel. Like so many other comedians, so many other people are just feeling like, I just want to be look, we had the blessing of being able to go around, Dave, and like let go.
Yeah.
And like we connected because you was having a time. We were over there having a time, and it was just like, we're all here dedicated to just letting go. Everyone feels the same right now. Like, holy crap, like, and that's the vibe I think that we have to get more comfortable with, is just living on the outsides of our skin. Of like, forget what people think or what they're gonna say. Live on the outside of your skin, because you doing that, A, is relating to trillions of people. B, it's your life, man. Like, that's what they talking about. You know what I mean? Like, if you gotta cry tonight, cry. Let it go. Let people understand how much this means to you. Like, I think,
No, I received that. I wanted to ask you, there's been a lot of conversation happening when we talk about Blackness. We talk about Blackness on the show a lot. And the divisions, I'm a Caribbean kid. So there's this division that I believe is all, by design, all results of white supremacy.
Yeah.
But you coming from the UK, and I want to talk about music specifically, because I know the big conversation right now is Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton, and the whether he should or should not have played that role because he's not American Black. But can you talk to your experience about that within the music business and what you felt and how you've shown up in that space?
Oh, I got it acutely. I got it en masse. I've gotten it slyly, and I don't care about any of it.
Good.
Because it's about the song. It's about the performance for me. It's about how many people's lives I've touched. It's about how many people needed to hear that record and got it. In the same way, Daniel did such a great job. He did a really good job. My thing is like, look, now if I come here and I'm doing foolery, and I'm out here singing records that I like, girl,
yes,
tell me to go home, but I'm not. I'm doing this for real. I'm doing this, and I have respect for the art. I have respect for the pioneers. I have respect for the women and men who laid it out for me. Like I said, we started this whole conversation talking about Gladys Knight.
Yes.
In my wildest dreams, I can never imagine. And Gladys had to okay me. So be clear. There was no, Gladys, you're gonna sing with Estelle of it. It was like who and is it okay if, and I had to get okayed to do that. So I look at it like, well, I must be doing the right thing. Absolutely. As far as the music and as far as that. Now, I'm never gonna disrespect it. I have grown up on American R&B. I've grown up on British R&B. I've grown up on rock, soul, pop. But I come from that era in my spirit. I come from, so I understand it. And not to say anybody else doesn't, whatever, but I just do me, and I do it very well. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it and do it very well. That's my, so my thing is that I have no nothings on it as long as you do it well. Do it really well.
right.
Other than if you kind of maybe saw her in the shit,
Yeah.
I mean, take all the disrespect because
I'm with you. But you know what? The belief that blackness is exclusive to America is so crazy because blackness is global.
while simultaneously talking about our diaspora, people will cuss out anybody who tries to infiltrate. It's just like, yo, pick one. Just pick a struggle in life. I get tired of it. I just stop. It's complaining. It's doing. It's but and it's also just like, oh my goodness, this is wild. And then at the same time, someone just mentioned, like, yeah, there was Josephine Baker was
Yes.
in Paris living her best American life. I can count on my 5 hands the amount of hip hop and R&B artists that have come to the UK while I was living there. That's less than 20 years ago, and made a whole career, got it cracking in the UK because they had nothing, because the US wasn't really messing with them. So like,
Yeah.
we never said, oh, these damn Americans coming over here, taking all our pop chart success, taking all of our, we said, whoa, the music's good, let's go. To the detriment of our artists, to the detriment, and we had to make a whole nother subdivision, in order to even come up. So I'm just glad it's like even playing field to a degree right now. As long as the music's good, live your best lives,
I'm with
people
that.
gonna have their moments, whatever.
First of all, I'm a Kano fan. Like, but who is this?
Hey, the fact that you know him. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
No, I listen to all music, right? So there are days where I can't stand listening to American radio. I don't. So I'll just turn on world music. I love calypso and soca, and then I love I listen to Brazilian music, but I grew up in Miami around Haitians, so I listen to a lot of Haitian music. It moves me and I don't speak Creole, but I know that they talking to me.
Right. You like the beat. The beat is in my soul. Also, I think music is one of the places where there's no real barrier and boundary if you do it right. If you're authentic to it, if you're true to that. Acting, it's a different thing. I can't talk to it. I have not been, part of it as long as that, so I can't really like have all the opinions. But my thing is, if you do it right, what's the problem? If you're not dishonoring the memory of, what's the problem? If your accent is correct, because Daniel studies, like no one knew Damson Idris was British until he popped out like, all right, mate. Like, and then we were all like, oh my god, and he's cute. It's well done. So like he was very, like he did it right, and he went and did it the right way and executes the roles. I just think if you do it correctly, because what was it? Neil Patrick, what's his name? The comedian guy is an actor. Neil Patrick, what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris. He's he's playing a British person in a British movie, in a British and no one's talking about how wild that is. Like I just think no one had an opinion about it. House is a British guy. No one had an opinion until it was black. And then it's just like, I think it's just all, divide and conquer. Stop it.
I agree. I totally agree with you. And you know what the other thing is, there is this big misconception from some people in America that Black people in the UK and the Black people in Europe are having the best experience in their Blackness. Like, it's so easy. Gina Yashere is a good friend of mine, and we talk about this because, Gina went off on when Meghan Markle became the Duchess, because people were like talking about how there is no racism in the UK. She was like, what?
Like, everything Gina said times 5. Everything Gina said times 5. Just that's the response here. Out your minds. I say this, same-ish, different currency. Same shit, different currency. Every time I'm asked this, same shit, different currency. They add classism and use it when it's convenient. I have a friend, my friend London Hughes, and she's explained that like she didn't grow up in the hood, but her boyfriend grew up in the hood. And she'll tell the story, but her boyfriend and she said that like people assume she's from the hood, but she's out here walking clutching her bag. Like, wait, hold on, I don't know what area we in. And her boyfriend at the time knew all the guys and all the men on the estate. And she's like, oh, wait a second, like. So it's just perception is foolery. I think it's the way we speak, it's the uppityness of it, or the properness of it, I should say, that makes people think, oh, you know, I when I came, my experience was like I had an album out, bust my ass to get my album up and out. My family's still living in the hood, but like, we're all trying to ting. My family's very much like, we're not gonna depend on you to pay for everything. So my sister was still in uni, definitely paid for my brother to go to uni, but like everyone is doing their thing. And so I moved to the US at 27. I'd already amassed a great wardrobe, right? So perception is everything at this point. And everyone thinks I'm this super rich black girl from London, and I'm here like, yeah, this is my first pair of like Louboutins. They're like, what Louboutins? I'm like, oh, you're fine now. Give it 2 years. And I'm here like, this is my first pair. Like, and I only bought them to impress this person's house I was going to. Like, no, I definitely had one pair of shoes from the age of 19 to 21, one pair of Nike sneakers, and I ran them into the ground. And I was an artist at that point. Be clear, nothing is not sweet. I lived in the house inside the garage that we had remade, like in the hood, remade into a space. And when people say, oh, but you got a garage. No, this was the council's place. And we made the garage a place. Like, and they only gave it to my mom because we nearly died in the fire and they didn't want that. And they had, like, it's in a fire, so it's been a story. Like, so when people say that, oh, yeah, we don't live in Downton Abbey. We don't live in all of the things that they think. And if you look at Downton Abbey, there was the upstairs and the downstairs, right? They were the maids and the people they treated like shit. And then there were the people upstairs who didn't even wipe their own asses. And I, if we're talking that, I grew up in the downstairs, okay?
Right.
Like, so, and as majority of black folks do, because they were imported to work in the 50s, we had our Mayflower, and so it's stuff. It's stuff. And I just think it's careful to like just blanket us like that.
No, but the funny thing is that for us, that we have to express our struggle to justify our existence sometimes. And that's foolishness, because I love the fact that London didn't have that experience. I wish that for us all, right?
Right. I wish people would know it, though. I wish people would know it, because even in the struggle, we made our time, we made our fun, we had a good time. I'm half West Indian and half African, right? So like the dedication to the turn up is real. Like it's in my soul, it's in my blood. It's just here at all times. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was on the gram the other day, and my friend was laughing. She was like, "You really dedicate to the turn up." I said, "Bro, like it's carnival and it's Mardi Gras. I'm having a turn up in my house. I found some king cake. I'm gonna go have fun. Leave me alone. It's just me."
Yeah.
We have to find our fun, and we pass down our traditions wherever we are in the world, and we have our fun. So like it is what it is.
I love that. I have a dance party every day in my house. Like I have a 3-year-old niece, and my niece dance. She was like, Tia, dance, Tia, and she dances she's 3, and she dances like nobody's watching. So now I've adopted this policy that every day I'm a dance, because it brings me great joy, right? And I have like old school parties. Like 1 minute I'm listening to Sugar Hill Gang. The next minute I'm listening to Tiny Whiny. You know what I mean? Long time.
All right, so I'm coming over. When I come, we're finding a way. I'll be in a whole nother room, but because that's the vibe. You keep the vibration high. Everything else is a wash. Everything else is nothing to worry about. Like, just dance, have fun.
You have to. I want you to shout out some of the musical influences that you had, not just the American ones, but some of the people that we may not know about that might have been a part of it.
Oh my! Sorry for coughing. Like it's
you got a cough. It's okay.
I have a cough. So all right. So let's go with the rap, because you mentioned Kano. So I'm just like, Kano is one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites. K-A-N-O. I love him. He's the best. He's one of my favorite rappers in the UK. Obviously, like all the American hip hop and all of that stuff, I lean more towards like De La and them over. Well, actually, I'm a split between De La and Jay-Z. I'm right down the middle of the two of those types of raps. I like it all. Let me think. I love Masha Montano. Alison Hines is my favorite too. Since we're talking soca, she has a record called Faluma, which
Let's
is I
go.
think
I love it.
yeah, it's a rub off of an African record, but like that song just makes me. I get up in the morning and play that, like, you know, like the Coming to America scene where he's like the violin starts playing and he wakes up. That's my whole
Paluma.
Yeah, Faluma by Alison Hines. It's the intro is beautiful, and then she just gets into you just immediately you start getting it, like it's a vibe. Who else do I love? I'm a big jazz fan. I love Ella. I love Louis Armstrong. All the obvious ones. Coltrane. All of them. I listen to the music like I listen to vocals, right? So like when they're playing trumpet, and I imagine words coming out of that instead of it just being, you know, the sound. So I'm like, and I just think of it like words. And so like I love the musician side of it, but like good musician, because there's like a lot of jazz where it's just like,
I feel like that and sometimes I'm like, what is this? And it's hours upon hours.
My first band would be like they'd be trying to impress me, and like, I would walk into a session, they'd be like, I'd be like, all right, it's experimental fucking elevator shit. Fuck you, stop, cut it out, stop it right now. This is not impressive. It's stupid. Stop.
We can be honest, right? We can be honest about what.
I'm clear about that. So those are some of my favorites. Yeah.
You know, it reminded me because there's this band called Dr. Buzzard's Original Savannah Band.
Savannah Band, yes.
My uncle.
Sun shower just the side of the power.
Ghostface used he used it in one of the songs. No, he used the other song, but Sun Showers is my favorite. That's my favorite song.
Look, Ghostface, when I had to go find the original, and Dr. Buzz is one of my favorites. Another record that I love with everything in my soul is a record called Native New Yorker. It's a similar sound. I can't remember the name of the band. She's a native New Yorker. No one knows that's all I know. Oh my days. Like, I feel like I was born in the 70s in Harlem.
Yeah.
And then came back. You ever see that show, The Get Down?
Of course. Of course. I watch everything Puerto Rican.
I mean, when they're dancing in the and I was like, oh, I was there. I had a whole breakdown, like, no, I was there. This is my time. They killed me and I came back. I know it. They didn't kill me. Something happened. I may have overdosed, but I came back. This is my time. I was here. Like, I just feel it in such a way. And then now we're talking Puerto Rican. Okay. Hate to Love Always the patron saint. Rest in peace, Johnny Pacheco.
Oh, Johnny Pacheco, yeah.
Pacheco, yeah. Like, I discovered Hate to Love All, and I lost my entire. That's it. That's
my favorite artist.
He is the great. Like, I have landing music. When I land, we used to fly because outside, I would land in different cities with different songs. In Miami, Aguanile. That was my. That every time the plane's going down, and it just, as the flight lands, you're looking out the window and that's playing in your headphones. It's an experience.
What country in Africa is your family from?
Senegal, Guinea, Gambia, the whole West. So this is our whole. I'm like, I see no difference between.
Well, that's where we're from. That's where they stole us from, right? That's where they stole us from. But I will tell you, Aguanile is a song that connects us in that way, because that song is really about. It really is rooted in our African heritage and our original religion, right?
Yep.
I love that.
That's what I was brought up with originally for like the first 5 years of my life. We go to church and stuff, but in the house, you know, like we pour out to the ancestors. We do all the things that are trendy now, and people talking about universe and spirits and ancestors and Oshun and Oga, and I'm here like,
I grew up on it.
Yeah,
it's real. It's been and ours. Like it's. I remember my mom going to make the offerings to the ocean, And because I'm the La hija de Yemaya, I'm the daughter of Yemaya, and I just remember her. There's always a glass of water in the house that for clarity and the things that. But I grew up that way. That was not. So now when I see people questioning me about it, and I'm like, you just found out about this on Twitter. I've been doing this
yesterday on Twitter. Calm down, sit down, get out of here. It's but no. Yesterday, do some more research. It'd be okay. You'll learn some more. I shouldn't say get out of here, but I'm just glad that people are more open to understanding that God, the great I am, however you want to call him, the Spirit, made all of this for us. He didn't leave us here on our own. He didn't leave us just out here. He sent the Holy Spirit for those who believe. He kept our ancestors lifted, like he did the thing. You know what I mean? Like Spirit did the thing, and gave us, and gave us, didn't leave us here. He didn't just drop us on the planet and say, go figure this out. No. So that's something to be grateful for too. And I'm just saying, like, but like listening to that record had me like,
yeah,
like, and like going down the lane, and it's the obvious. Probably you're gonna be like, the FunnyAida All Stars, and then like, just all of them, just like, it just blows my mind because I'm sitting here going, this African music, this African music, this is African music. There's no difference. These my uncles and aunties from over there.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. They are. Yeah. He's my cousin.
Yeah, he's my cousin.
And I will show up and fight for you too. So just so that you know,
you clear. Same.
I've been trying to. I told somebody today. I was like, I don't know why I want to fight somebody right now, but I think it's because I've been locked up for a year.
This is it. It'll do it. Like being inside will do it to you. But like Usa. It's all for a reason. It's all to upgrade us. That's all this is. I think. Yeah.
So you're gonna let us know when the album comes out.
For sure.
And when you perform again, is there a performance anywhere near in the near future?
I don't think I'm doing anything like outside just yet. Probably middle of the year when they start letting things back open somehow, because everyone's starting to get immunized, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think middle of the year, closer to summertime, is when we'll be outside trying things. But there might be a couple live streams. I just want to put this album up for summer because it is incredibly happy. So just pray that we get this artist on it. Excuse me. And let's just, I just wanted to wrap it up and put it up together because it'll take me a minute to put it out. It's just like getting this one last artist. But, everything in the right time. Everything will be perfect.
I can't wait for that album to come out because I need happy music. I have a whole new playlist I just did in the last few days that is all happy music because I was like, we have to celebrate and we have to have joy because if not, we can't just allow ourselves to constantly stay down. And music is one of the ones. And in June I take my special. So we talked about it.
I'm coming to Puerto Rico. I'm going. Where you reside? Where you going? That's where I'm going. I'm with it. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yee just got her passport because she was like, we going to the DR too. But I expect you to be there. And I want to say thank you for coming on. And I appreciate you sharing your energy because the world can be so dark right now. And we need lights like you to illuminate the way and keep us on the path of joy and happiness because we have to be balanced. We can't stay in the space of misery and victimization.
I'm grateful and honored to serve, and thank you for even doing this. This is a great show, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor, man. Like your light shines. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I couldn't be here if your light went out here. Like, you know what I mean? So please stay here, stay up, stay light, stay giving people reasons to smile. We appreciate you, man, for real.
Well, I feel the same way. And so we're gonna party in April, and we're gonna party in June.
Going down. I am so excited.
Party when that album comes out, and we're gonna party for the special, and we're gonna keep celebrating and uplifting our people because they need to be uplifted. Exactly. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. To all of you, the comments are hilarious. People are showing you love. You
I
know,
love
some
it.
people want to marry you. Some can't wait for the album to come out. So it's all people feel just love it. And so anyway, say thank you to everybody who came and watched today, and we'll be watching, and we'll be back next week with Truth Serum. We'll see you. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.